with MakingStarWars.net.
Hey, YouTube.com. I'm Jason Ward from MakingStarWars.net. And for the next few minutes, we'll be talking about Kenobi coming out in the theater, which is really kind of rad on one hand. On the other hand, it's not coming out by me, so I'm kind of bummed. To the best of my knowledge, it's not anyways. I'm hoping that this might be like the tip of the iceberg but it's the company who is showing Kenobi is called Cineplex, and we don't have any of those anywhere near here. Most of the theaters I could find appear to be in Canada and maybe one in the UK. From what I've seen, there might be more. I really don't know, but yeah, this is what popped up, and it just says it's a Kenobi entire season and Q&A. So that's 5 hours and 20 minutes. You might be able to glean some of the episode length from that, but with the Q&A kind of makes it all guesswork. Obi-Wan Kenobi begins 10 years after the dramatic events of Star Wars Revenge of the Sith, where Obi-Wan Kenobi faced his greatest defeat, the downfall and corruption of his best friend and Jedi apprentice Anakin Skywalker, who returned to the dark side as evil Sith Lord Darth Vader. This event will feature a live Q&A. Director Deborah Chow, and has the cast. No one in the cast that we don't know that I could see, and that's pretty much it for this. But this popped up. I am personally hoping that maybe like AMC is going to do it in the United States or something like that, or Cinemark or something, and that there will be more, or maybe this is a test run to try to figure out where. But it looks like there's one in Victoria, West Shore, Chilliwack, which I think is Canada, Langley, Richmond, Silverport, Meadowtown, Strawberry Hill, and Surrey, which I think might be in the UK. Silver City Mission Cinemas. And so anyways, yeah, Abbotsford and Victoria, which might be British Columbia. So it don't look good for me, but if it's good for you, I'm happy for you, because I would love to go and spend an afternoon just watch this whole thing. I think it would be pretty rad. Just to see it theatrically for one time. There was talk, Bestman Bulletin reminding me of it when we were talking this morning. He was like, there was talk about doing a Mandalorian cut for the theater before the pandemic, and they talked about it at a Disney investors meeting. This sounds like there's no special cut to it. They're just going to show all of the episodes. So pretty cool if you could check it out, if it's near you and you get to see it. That's pretty rad. But hopefully this is like the start of that, getting that ball rolling. Especially, we're not going to have we're talking about yesterday with that Taika movie. It's not happening next year. So yeah, this is pretty much the most fun you could have in a theater. I could see why they wouldn't want to do this when they have theatrical releases coming. They wouldn't want to muddy the waters, confuse people. Like, oh, why would I go see that new $250 million Star Wars movie they just made when I just saw it in the theater 6 months ago? I'm good. They might not want to do that, but with the future of Star Wars right now, they might as well, because it definitely can't hurt it. So, hey, Mike, thanks, man. Hey, Mr. Maximus, and hey, David, how are you? So it's pretty cool, like I said, if it's near you, but it's not near me. I would love to travel to like go check it out, but Don says I can't get their website to load. I think they're getting hot. So one thing that happened earlier when Bespin Bulletin and I were talking about it was I could access the page, and I had no problem all day accessing the page with the theaters, and his region was locked out of it. I am just guessing. I don't know, but I'm guessing that it might have to do with why would somebody from where Bespin's from try and buy, tickets to here or something like that. So they just lock it out in certain regions. I mean, most of those are in Canada, and we're at least like on the same continent over here. But once again, it's still like thousands of miles for me, and I could access it. So it doesn't really make a lot of sense. It sounds like it's like they're kind of blocking some people from seeing that. So, but like I said, the fingers crossed moment is this theater jumped the gun, and they're the ones who are doing it for British Columbia, Canada, and stuff, and that more theater chains will be doing it in areas next to us. That is my hope. Death Watch Alpha says Cineplex is mostly here in Canada. Yeah, that's what I noticed, because I was like, ooh, how can I see this? Aria says sounds like one long movie. Yeah, right. 5 hours is a very, very long time to hang out in the theater and watch something, but people do it for the Avengers and Star Wars and all kinds of things. So I could totally see doing it with this show, especially because it's Obi-Wan Kenobi. I like him a lot. But I just wanted to make sure that I got this out here to you cats, so that way you guys could watch it. Because if you're able to go, I don't know, it could be the kind of event where you're the only person in the theater. It could be the kind of event where it sells out in minutes. It's always hard to tell with Star Wars. You can never really put it together. Okay, Surrey is in British Columbia. Okay, so looks like this is all Canada then. So maybe that chain just jumped the gun, or maybe this is the test. Let's try it in Canada, see how it goes. I don't know. It's unexpected, but I'm excited. Jeff Way says this would be awesome in theaters or IMAX. Yeah, I don't know how it would look. I don't know how it would look in IMAX. I have no idea, but only interested if they edit it down and amp up the effects. Shut up, James. Get out of here. Pfft. Have fun. I'm kidding, James, but seriously, who gives a shit? Have fun. Mark says, where can I buy? Yeah, well, here is the link. I will post the link right now in the chat right now, and see if that works as a link. And if it does, that's right there is where it's at. It doesn't appear that like tickets are on sale. I don't even know if it has dates yet. If it has any kind of like showtimes, I don't think it does. Best of my knowledge, it doesn't yet. So it's like a listing, but it definitely, they didn't just make that up. So if you get tickets for it, though, let me know. If you go to it, tell us how it was. Still hoping that it will happen here, because why not? Oh, it's June 22nd. Is that right? June 20th. Oh yeah, it does say June 22nd now. You're right. It's June 22nd, 5 hours, 20 minutes. So yeah. So go up here to the tickets area. Let's see if we go to June 22nd. Oh, select the date. You can't pick June 22nd yet from here. So only up to June 20th, which says tickets might be on sale by Tuesday, maybe. But I've never used this before, the site, or obviously I don't live in British Columbia, not really my jam. So investigate if you want to try to go. If you're up there in Canada, you can do it. If you're sorry I couldn't go, I appreciate it. There are two options: an hour 33 minutes and 5 hour option. So what do you think? How do you think that goes? Do you think is it the hour 33 option? Do you think it's like an edit, or is it maybe just the finale? Maybe like the hour 33 is just like the last half of it or something, like with the finale, June 22nd. Let me see. How does that fall? Does that coincide? June 22nd is a Wednesday. Yeah, and that is when the final episode would come out. So there must be an option that lets you just go see the final episode theatrically so it's an hour 33. Last hour is the episode. The 33 minutes is the Q&A. It's roughly. I bet you that's how it goes. Whereas this one, the 5 hour and 20 minutes, no, it wouldn't be that, Aria, because it has the Q&A. That's the thing to always remember, is there's that Q&A in there. I live in Canada, so I should be okay. Yeah, you got to go. I mean, if you're into it, you got to go. I think you are into it, right? Aria says, can can't you use math to figure out episodes? No, you can't, because you have to know the length of the Q&A. So there's also a Q&A section for both of them. Yeah. So, but you can definitely, like, you know, like I said, I was talking about earlier in the week. I am pretty sure the next episode is a shorter episode, under 40 minutes, about 40 minutes to a little under 40 minutes, and I'm pretty sure the last episode comes in closer to an hour. So yeah, you know, don't go and get crazy and start expecting, like, oh, the last episode's an hour and 50 minutes. There's nothing crazy like that coming. There's no, that's not going to happen. Yancey says maybe in the States as a Fathom event down the road. That's kind of what I'm hoping. It would be rad to actually see the last episode in the theater like that. Like, I would totally do that if they offered it. And yeah, I could see like Cinemark doing it, or AMC, you know, like, it kind of, I mean, it's obviously like Disney has to want to do the event and stuff like that, but it's like, I could go to like Cinemark right now and see like some like Pink Floyd, like, laser retrospective on film or something, and it's playing all day. It's like, I would rather go see Kenobi. That would be fun. Mark says, so do I run to the theater now, or when they announce that tickets go on sale? If you have it in you, I would go down to the theater, say there's this thing, I want to buy tickets, and then see what they say, because for all you know, they may be able to sell you, with both of those options, they may be able to sell you a ticket right there. That kind of stuff always depends on the theater chain, and you just never know. But like when Star Wars has gone on sale, I have been able to beat like the ticket rush by going there personally. It's faster. And not that this will happen with this, I don't think this would happen, but like when Star Wars tickets go on sale, the websites crash all the time. So for episode 9, I went down to the theater and like just like waited in line and bought it right there, because, and it did crash, and I did get the seats that I wanted for everybody. Now they have to do that on their own because they're not my friends anymore. Nolan Ryan says, Jason, are you pumped for a potential season 2? Because ever since you scooped it, I've been hype. Yeah, I want to see where it goes, but I'm also trying not to get too far ahead of myself. I'm trying to just enjoy what's here right now, and just look at what's coming. Like I said, this week I think is going to be the moment that Riva likely wins people over who she's going to win over. So it's going to be cool. Star Wars Politics. Is this theatrical release what Ewan McGregor teased when he mentioned a part 7, 8, and 9? No, I think he was just saying like they want to do a second season. I think he was just pushing like that he'll be back at Celebration, that stuff. But no, I don't think so. Personally, I don't think so. Jeff Way says, I wish episodes were longer. My biggest complaint. Yeah, but that's because we're like waiting week by week. When you have it all there as a cohesive thing, the episode length just won't matter anymore, because you'll have like a 4-hour-ish movie. You know what I'm saying? So it's already longer than a film. So yeah. Natalie Holt said she's done with episodes 5 through 6 orchestra. Come back for the music. Aria. I like I said, I hope so. The music has always been, it was always going to be a slow build. Like, that's what she's always said since the very start. Will it pay off? Will it actually be that? I don't know. But I don't hate it. I don't hate the music. I wouldn't buy the soundtrack though if it came out today. I don't think so. But we'll have to see. Maybe I'll be like, maybe I'm like, whoa, it is brilliant, and I'm just not hearing it yet. And but I'll have to wait until we hear those last 2 episodes, because you and I have been talking about that for a while now. Like, is it going to be good? Is it hitting? Like, I thought the last episode was hitting a lot better than the previous episodes. And as he's become more heroic and it's become more orchestral. But we'll have to see, because right now I'm ambivalent. Hey, General Grievous, how's the cough? Oh, the Q&A is apparently live. Yeah, so it's gonna probably be like right after the final episode airs. They're probably gonna do one of those little live things. So yeah, sounds those things honestly are probably going to be, I don't know. I hope it's cool, but for the most part, those kind of things are like very fluffy, and well, like I always joke, we're all a big family, and we all play pranks on the set. Like it's probably going to be that kind of stuff, but you never know. Maybe it'll be cool. Maybe they'll tease the doing more, because it sounds like they're ready. Jeff Way says, "Thanks for all you do. Love the videos. Have a great night. This is the way." Thank you, Jeff, and good to see you around, man. Darth Grogu, hello there. I'm late. What's going on now? If you're in Canada, your Kenobi's coming to the theater, and you can go see it at the theater and on the finale, the night of the finale, and I guess watch the finale with an audience if you want to. Short version and long version. You could watch the whole season up to the finale, or you could just watch the pretty much like the finale. Both have a Q&A. That's what we think is going on June 22nd. Thomas, how's it going, dude? I'm excited for all 6 episodes to come out, and I can watch them all at once. I've had fun watching them back to back, and I think that's how they were intended before being a TV show. Kinda, yeah. I mean, like pretty much. Like a lot of the story was sort of meant to be a movie at one time, but it went through so many revisions that it's like this is it separated out and sort of stretched a little bit, and with extrapolation. But most of the extrapolation probably goes towards like things like with the Inquisitors and stuff, Riva, and fleshing that out and stuff like that. But I am going to be happier when I have it all and I can just like watch it all in a go, because I watched like the first 4 in a row and I dig it. I'm ready to keep going to the end of it. So will the theater get the episode earlier than Disney Plus? I mean, depends on what time it is. It may, but it may not. I mean, because like we get it over here at midnight Pacific Standard Time, which is 3 a.m. on the East Coast, and so that might be a way of seeing it early, but also it might kind of like might line up perfectly. I'm also kind of curious if they're doing this event, if we might get it hitting at 9 that night, so that way the people who go to the event don't go and just hit Twitter and start telling everybody everything, even though, but that's what they did with Celebration. But I guess Celebration is more of a concentration of thousands of Star Wars fans who would do that. So we'll have to see, though. The writer for Kenobi said he is trying to keep his sanity when he looks at online criticism. Poor guy. Yeah. That's one of the things, is that it like I really don't think the writing on the show is bad. So I hope he's doing good. I appreciate the work he did. I think he did a good job. I'm not having to rewrite lines in my head because they were awkwardly composed. And I think that the story itself is really good. I am very happy with it. The longer that like it sits and stuff, like I'm not getting mad at it. Like, honestly, if this was Book of Boba Fett right now, and Book of Boba Fett, if we were at episode 5 at this point in time and it was coming out theatrically, I wouldn't have jumped on here to tell you guys. I wouldn't have had it in me. So Star Wars Politics says, after watching the latest episode a second time, it hit a lot harder, especially without all the negativity around the social media. I just tuned it out and watched it for what it was, and it was great. I agree. I mean, it's like a lot of, I don't know. A lot of people like, what the fuck else are you watching that's so great that you're like, oh my God, this is beneath me. It's like, I think it's pretty good Star Wars. Hey, Salvador. I would love to see Kenobi as a movie. I prefer movies than series. Well, yeah. I mean, it would be great if it had been a film. But then again, I mean, what it comes down to is if it had been a movie, it would be more succinct. And I heard stuff about the film. Maybe I talk about it one day. But the stuff that I heard about what it was going to be when it's a movie didn't sound as good as what we got. I can assure you guys, if you ever believe anything I've ever said, Joby Harold did us a favor, like truly. The Old Republic, episode 5 and 6 can save the series. if we are given the things you have leaked, it would be fine. Will there be a lightsaber fight in episode 5 with Inquisitors and Force Sensitives on Jabeam? There's that's where the big battle is. Old Republic is in the next episode, so fingers crossed. It should go that way. I don't think they're going to heal Kenobi though. I know somebody who saw it, and I'm like, is Kenobi healed anymore? And they said no. So I don't think he's going to be healed anymore. I think the Bacta tank was the extent of it. So we will either just go through the rest of our Kenobi lore, imagining he has burns on his body we can't see under his robes in A New Hope, or in a future iteration, he will be healed up again and solved. So Star Wars Politics says, in my own opinion, watch parties have not been healthy lately, especially if you want an authentic reaction. Yeah, I guess it depends on who you're watching it with and stuff like that. Yeah. I mean, excuse me. A lot of people just their expectations are mostly insane. Or it's like, okay, the fucking kid can't run, the fucking kid was shot wrong. Okay, do you throw out the baby with the bathwater? I don't personally, that's my take. Some people think things have to be perfect or it's no good. I don't get it, I don't. And then it's like, then they're gonna go watch fucking 90 Day Fiance and be like, this is riveting television. Thomas says, I don't get people comparing Book of Boba Fett and Kenobi because I think Kenobi has a way better rewatchable factor. Yeah, I mean, and once again, if any of you like both, I'm happy for you. Like, if anybody likes both, like, or loves Book of Boba Fett, I'm not knocking you. I'm not somebody who goes like, I didn't really care for it in totality, therefore you are dumb. Nah, I'm like, I'm glad you like it if you do. Like, that's like my take. But for me, if I was to grade both of them, it's very much Kenobi is at a much higher level of performance, story, and depth than Book of Boba Fett was. Book of Boba Fett is a hell of a lot of fun, though. I mean, and that's like the big difference, Book of Boba Fett, I think, so far has a lot more fun. But also it's not really that deep. So I prefer Kenobi. If I had to pick one, that's the one I would pick. So, hey, Blake, I hope you're doing well, dude. Don says, there are a lot of peeps channeling the dark side, in my opinion. Yeah, for sure. But, it's more, I guess it's like I always say, just, it's like the old Qui-Gon quote, your focus determines your reality. If you put all of your stuff into what some guy on YouTube is saying, some guy who's just some guy, then it's like, you're putting a lot of your happiness into the hands of some rando who you shouldn't. That's my take. That's why. But I also grew up liking the prequels, or not grew up, but I was like 18 when it came out. But it's like I was a prequel guy, and it's like, so my whole thing is if you enjoy it, like, I'm happy for you, have a good time, but also just don't try to ruin other people's fun. And that's what's pretty funny is you hear all these prequel people going around like, we had it so hard, everybody was so mean to us, and then they go around and do the same shit to the sequel trilogy kids, or they do the same shit to the Disney Plus people, and it's just like, just let people like their shit, man. Have a good time. Nolan Ryan says the criticism of the show has been next level, and for the most part, not totally warranted either. Everybody got to chill. Yeah, I think so. I think there's a lot to like here. I think people are overlooking a lot. Like I said, if you're overlooking a whole series because of when the Red Hot Chili Peppers captured Leia, I don't know what to do for you. You must just like have really cool friends and watch all kinds of smart movies I can never understand. Mark says, as none of the locations in my city have it on sale when I check each location. Yeah, I would. I mean, if it's near you, I'd go check out. I'd go check it out and see if you can buy a ticket on site. I watched it twice, and through episode 5, I thought episode 4 was fine, nothing special. To me, the weakest of the 4 so far. You know what's funny is I thought 4 was going to be like the easiest like crowd pleaser because it was like saving Leia from a fortress, and I didn't really think people would have that hard of a time with it. But I also think that it was like the one time that it deviated from setting the course towards the end. So it is ultimately kind of an exposition episode or a directional episode, because 4 and 5 are how we get to the finale. So Ari says hating on Kenobi makes you a ton of views. Channel with 1K subs got 200,000 views on his first Kenobi video hating on it. Sad reality, and my feed is dog shit filled with these people. Yeah, that's the problem with YouTube, is it just, the way that it weighs things tends to go that way. And so then these people end up just making it their personality that they will hate something for attention, for likes, and it rewards dummies for doing the wrong thing. Insane expectations like Clone Wars flashbacks. Yeah, I gotta say, Mark, that's one of the things about it is like they're so weird about everything that they don't set expectations. So then I get it. They don't want to shoot things down. They don't want people going, is Chewbacca in it? And then they're like, no. Is Cad Bane in it? No. And then they're like, is Roken in it? And then they have to go, yeah, Roken's in it. I get why, like why they have that kind of relationship with spoilers or information, but they just don't set expectations. They just don't. They just go, we hope you expect everything, the world, and then watch it, and then our magic wows you. But that doesn't really work that way. And they don't want to admit it. They bought into this idea that it being spoiler free means it's going to be better for you. And it's just like, that's just not fucking true. It's just never been true. Academics prove it's not true, but they want to pretend that it is because it's their preference. Darth Del Rio is the real question. The real question is, did Obi-Wan get fired from his job while he was away? I hope he had some vacation time saved up. Got to be honest with you. Gonna throw it out there. That job, it looks like you're an independent contractor. I think you show up to work in the morning, and if you're not there on time, there's a cutoff, and they take X amount of people to go start cutting up the stuff. And if you're not there, I think he gets his job back. I don't know, maybe he does, but it does seem like it's a temporary job, right? Unless they hunt one of those things, kill it, build the scaffolding, and it's just like a rinse and repeat kind of thing. But I loved episode 5 of Book of Boba Fett. Yeah, I loved episode 2. I mean, I liked episode 1 and 2 a lot. I didn't like the finale I didn't hate the finale. The Luke Skywalker and the Mando episodes, like that stuff's all good. It's all, you know what I mean? Like I don't hate the show. It's not like that black or white. It's just, was the opportunity, did they do the best job with the opportunity that they had? Did they tell the best story that they could have? And to me, the answer is no. The answer, did they do a disservice to Boba Fett by not giving him everything he needed to be the best character? I'm going to say they didn't do it. But I do like episode 2. I like the train heist. I like the opening. I like seeing how he got out of the Sarlacc. And so there's all kinds of things that I like. And believe it or not, I don't even hate the Vespa gang. I don't think that they belong there. I don't think that they fit on Tatooine. I think if you take the concept and you move it anywhere else, it's cool. It just bright yellow, red, and blue speeders on Tatooine. How long would they look good? I mean, they're gonna look like shit in a few minutes. Like, it just doesn't fit the aesthetic. So like there's stuff about it that but in the big picture, I still have hope that they do more with Boba Fett and do something worthy of the character. I've heard that they were not happy with it, and I hope that it lit a fire under their ass. They might just be cowards and be like, we're just going to shy away from Boba. It didn't work out. We're just going to stay away. But hopefully they felt challenged because they were on so many wins. Maybe they started to believe their own bullshit, like, oh, everything we do is gold. We're on a, we've done 16 episodes of Mando. Everybody loves what we do. They're going to love these 8 no matter what we do. And it's like, nope. Chilean says, is it being recut? No, it doesn't sound like it. It says entire series. So I think that means it's just going to be the episodes. Cylon Scotty says, I think a lot of people at this point have a dopamine pipeline dedicated to Star Wars hate. That's probably true. You could probably flip that around too. And also, they need to accept the fact that that dopamine hit they got with Star Wars at one time, that kind of shit stops happening in life. I know. I remember getting some serious good dopamine hits listening to punk music when I was about 14. That never happened again. I'm never going to get that back. Sucks. It was good. Aria says, I am too worried about how the end of episode 5 is received. Can lead up to another hate wave. Aria, it doesn't matter if it's good. It doesn't, they don't care. They don't give a shit about Star Wars in the first place. They don't really like it. Just gonna throw out that when it comes to like most of like the like, look at the, did they like The Force Awakens? Maybe. They didn't like The Last Jedi. They mocked Solo. They mocked the Mandalorian until it was good. Then they just had to concede that it was, it was. And then after that, I don't think they really like it, to be honest. So I think that the hate wave is gonna happen no matter what. It's just the difference right now is that people care about the show. The numbers are really high. Therefore, the audience is there to hate on it. If it was the audience numbers really aren't there, if the interest is kind of like then it doesn't really pay off, and it's paying off. Star Wars Politics says, true. I do not like to base my thoughts, opinions, and experience of a series on what one person thinks on YouTube. Yeah, it's just a bad idea. Don't believe in anybody but yourself when it comes to what you like. Mark says the Cineplex website doesn't say a concrete time. So for East Coast, will it be at 3 a.m.? Well, classically, yeah. I mean, classically, it comes out 12 p.m. 12 a.m. West Coast, which is 3 a.m. East Coast. So yeah, but this, they may be getting it early. For all we know, they may be starting at noon, and it might, but I would imagine they would start later, and it would probably like premiere around 8 or 9 at night, which could coincide with it coming out at 9 p.m. on the Pacific Standard Time, which would be cool. Would be cool if Disney Plus gave us a heads up if they were going to do something like that too. So that way, watch parties and stuff like that can all, coordinate. Real Ben Maynard says, to me, I think it's fun checking out others' opinions, but people need to remember to leave expectations at the door. It can help. And I'm like the same way though. Like the people who I will check out or whatever, like I'm curious to see like what they thought, what their critiques were and stuff like that, and that's interesting to me. It doesn't really, I just don't let it change my opinion. I don't need it to. If I sat down and had a good time, I don't need someone to tell me why my good time was false, because it wasn't. My good time was a legitimate good time, and that's what's important. Vitor says, aside my critics of some production values in VFX and art direction, Kenobi resonates in a much more intimate writing that makes the series to me. Yeah, exactly. It does. It does. It has, I think so far, this series has more authentic heart than most recent Star Wars has ever had to me, So Violet says, do you know the length of episode 5 and 6? I do not know precise lengths. I can't tell you, but I would expect the next episode to come in around 39 minutes, probably. And then for the 5th, and then the 6th one, I would expect it to be in the 50 to 55 minute range. That's what I would expect. James says, my complete on-scientific and random poll had 50% of fans giving the show a C+, which I think is fair. Good for you, James. Buzzkill James. No, I don't know. I just don't give a shit. To me right now, the show's an A-. That's my grading right now. If I was going to give it something like that, when it comes to I don't even really like talking with most people because of fucking clerks. Everybody tries to be like a Randall on every fucking thing that they like review, and like, here's my hot take, and it's just kind of boring to me. So, I don't know. I think it's way better than people are giving it credit for. And I think that those same people watch a bunch of stupid shit that they think is great. So I don't even give a fuck what they think anyway. Shogun says, I really think we shouldn't be surprised at how much criticism there is. It is Star Wars. Yeah. I mean, I think I'm gonna rephrase this. I think we shouldn't be surprised at how much grifting there is. It is Star Wars. That's my take. Thomas Shane says, what I can't stand is to see people talk positively on the show, but then random people in the comments will crap on the people who like it. If you don't like it, fine, but you're trying to drag others down too. Yeah, exactly. That's my whole thing. Sorry you had a bad time at the party. Go to a different party. That's what you have to do. Or you could just like join a group, and band together and then make it your personality. Star Wars has been on Tatooine for like 3 episodes now. I like the series, but Red Hot Chili Peppers capturing Leia was laugh out loud. Yeah, exactly. I mean, like that right there. I hope they got the fucking message. That shit, it ain't gonna. That shit actually hurt the show, and it shouldn't. It's almost irrelevant. And they're like, oh, it's okay. Yeah, you know what? It doesn't look that good. It doesn't play that way, but it's not really that important. You know what? You fucked up. The Old Republic says sick of people thought they were getting tons of Clone Wars flashbacks. Yeah, and once again, they don't set expectations, but that's why if you read spoilers, I told everybody what it was. So everybody who reads Making Star Wars should know what to expect. The limited theatrical release is going to be a new movie. Or they're going to transform the series into a, no. It says it straight up says the entire season. So I would not expect that. I wouldn't expect that. Vitor says, yeah, Kenobi versus Vader is great to me, but at the end of the day, it's the simple scenes like Kenobi talking to Leia in the truck, or when she's laying her hand in his hands. It nails. Yeah, it does. It's really, really good. It justifies the very existence of it for me. Like truly, like right now, honestly, can I justify the existence of Boba Fett as a series? Not really. I mean, I like I said, it's fun. I had a good time, but did it need to exist? Did it make it anything better for me? But right now, this is actually like taking 2 legacy characters and made it deeper for me. So I'm happy. Nolan says episode 4 was so my jam. What's better than Kenobi breaking into a fortress, Inquisitorius in a Jedi tunic, using a lightsaber against stormtroopers? Rogan called him General. The Jedi tomb, it was fire. That's my take. It's way more fun than it is not. Yancey says, unfortunately, nature of monetization. Only folks who get mega views are so-called shills or haters. No room for seasoned debate and discussion. Yeah, that's once somebody goes to shill, they've actually lost the argument, and they got nowhere to go. And what can you say to that? Like, I'm not a shill. Yeah, that's what a shill would say. It's just what it ends up being. And it's a fucking ridiculous notion. And there are people who do like sell like everything's great. I love everything from Mickey Mouse and Mick Disney. Like there are those people. They like do exist, but by and large they're irrelevant or they're highly predictable, and they don't really ever articulate why anything's great. Just everything is, and it's obvious that they're just playing to the machine, hoping that it's going to get them something, and it never gets them anything anyways. That's the funny part is like there are people who legitimately believe that they're like our Disney shills who do everything to get like access and stuff like that. For the most part, the big trades are like the big mega sites like the IGN size sites and stuff like that, and film sites of that size. They get access because of their audience. And they probably do play the game a bit. They do play a little extra nice as to not close doors. That does happen. I would say it probably accounts for about in my approximation about 30% of the false positivity. But the other 70% of it is probably pretty authentic, and they don't really have to necessarily play ball at that level. And then once you get below that, they don't want anything to do with you anyway. So, they don't want anybody who they can't use. This is what it comes down to. So it's sort of a ridiculous kind of idea. And I can tell you this, I get called Disney shill a lot, but if I was a Disney shill, there would be no spoilers coming from me, and I would tell them everything was fine all the time. And I've never done that. Kenobi season 2 should be about him looking for a new job. You got it, Grogu. Kenobi and the quest for monster.com. But hey, Andrew, how's it going? How are you? I just got on here, and I'm not sure I get what people are saying about expectations by the fans. If so, I think expectations are overrated in the Star Wars galaxy, and we should be happy that we get new stuff, basically. Yeah, to like some extent. I mean, you hope like I'm gonna keep picking on Boba Fett today because it's just where my brain is. Boba Fett could have done more. It could have been better, and it wasn't. So I can understand how people can be like disappointed. You had X amount of dollars, X amount of time. Why is this good? I waited so long for this. You hyped it up, and now you have not delivered. So I can understand if people feel that way, But for the most part, when that kind of stuff happens, like with Book of Boba Fett, there's very valid criticism of that series, of the show structure, of the narrative structure, not only from episode to episode, but of the narrative itself. And that shit's valid. But Kenobi started getting criticism like around Riva before anybody ever even saw a fucking frame. And that's the telling part. That's what's different. That's what a lot of people purposely like overlook or don't understand, and that kind of shit. But expectations, yeah, expecting something to be better than anything that's ever existed, don't do it. Like I learned this with episode 1. Episode 1, we legitimately thought The Phantom Menace was going to be one of the best movies, if not the best movie of all time. We thought we were going to the theater to see the best Star Wars movie ever made on May 19th, 1999, or whatever it was. And I was very happy with it. I love the movie, but not everybody was. Some people were like, I don't know what to think of it. I don't know, and stuff like that. Or it was not what I expected, and stuff like that. So Ari says, I might sound like a gatekeeper, but I kind of don't want another season. It'll just be another wave of Riva hate unless the quality overall is improved by 10-fold. Well, the quality is never going to improve by 10. That isn't going to happen. I don't even think the quality could be doubled on it. I just kind of think that there's sort of a cap, sort of, you know what I mean, on what we're going to get from a TV show. But are the same people with problems with it going to not like it? Yeah, because they don't like anything. Like that's the whole thing. It's not like these people, they act like they like stuff when it's in the past. Like I like Star Wars as a concept, as a brand. Look at what they liked individually. They don't really like anything, And it's like if you haven't liked the last 5 years of Star Wars, I don't think anything's going to make you magically start liking anything today. That's not going to change. So fuck them. Who cares what they think? And Andrew says, Revenge Guy. Yo, hey, Revenge Guy, how's it going, dude? Sir Marshall says, personally, I'd rather see Boba Fett pop up in other shows rather than a Book of Boba Fett season 2. But I agree, they don't shy away from him altogether. Yeah, because it's not like Boba Fett was the problem. It wasn't like it was the actor's fault or the character's fault. I think mostly lies on the writer and the director. Vitor says, although the Book of Boba Fett could have been better, it made him appreciate Boba more. Okay, that's good then. So then it did something good for you, and that's rad. I think it's an interesting story from that character and that part of his life. Like that's how I'm taking it. So, but I'm curious as to what happens next. I mean, I don't dislike it so much. I don't want to know what happens next. I just want a better story for the character, a tighter story for the character. Hey, John, how do we get info on the theatrical release for Kenobi? I posted it in the chat. I'll post it again right now, and you could click that right there. And I would say if it's showing anywhere near you on that website, you could go and see where their theaters are. Maybe there's one near you. But I'm in Southern California, and it doesn't look like I'm going to be able to see it. Aria says, I'm not looking at Twitter or Star Wars YouTube channels when episode 6 is out for like a week. Don't want the reactions to Luke's. Oh, yeah. Well, I would say you don't need to, because they already did it, right? They kind of already gave their reaction. So if you want to know what they're going to say, they've already told you, and believe them. Believe what they said about what they're going to say, because it's what they're going to say. They already made up their minds. If anyone other than Disney owned the IP, the hate waves wouldn't be as ridiculous as they are. I think some folks hate a lot of Disney. You know what? I actually disagree with you. The reason why I disagree is because before it was Disney, it was George Lucas. People were insane about George Lucas. People would shit on that man hard. The same people that are shitting on Disney and are acting like George Lucas was always, he's the father of Star Wars. Like that. Nah, they weren't saying that. They were saying the exact opposite. And no, it just comes down to the fact that most of the, like I said, you get rewarded for being negative. That's the truth about YouTube. And then the other side of it is that you get rewarded if you have hot takes, and then it generates interaction. So that's what they do, and it's led to fandom on YouTube sucking. Fandom isn't fun on YouTube, like on a whole. I try to make it fun, but I do my best. I'm only one dummy. Aria says, I love Disney. They have tons of capital to continue pumping out content, and Disney Plus is great, especially with the new subscription that's coming. That's $5 with ads. Yeah, I'm actually kind of okay with that. I think I might prefer $5 with ads if it wasn't for the fact that I watch the movies on there. But if I was just watching the Disney Plus shows and not watching the Star Wars movies that way, I probably would go with that. Mark says, I'm going to freak out at the fight, but the problem is OT enjoyers hate prequel choreography. Then prequel people want everything to be choreographed. Yeah, it is. It's a tough middle ground. I'm not sure what to expect on that final fight. That's where my big anxiety is about the whole thing. That the first fight, Kenobi's just like shitting his pants the whole time, scared, So it's not really a fight as much as it's one guy kicking one guy's ass down the street while the other guy holds the back of his head trying not to get hit, basically. But fight number 2 won't be that, and I'm hoping fight number 2, it delivers. I think it should. I'm hoping it will. But yeah. And John, you get it, John. I don't care what anybody says. I'm loving the show. Me too, John. Me too. I'm not going to call it perfect. I'm not going to say, but for me, the big stuff is perfect. The small shit ain't. And that's what makes it fine for me. That's what makes me like not hate it. I feel like the show has a good heart, It's not perfect, but what is important is pretty damn good in it. Fishstick says, by the way, that's my favorite Fortnite character, Revenge Guy. My only real qualm with the show is some of the music feels a bit off, rather than a 9 out of 10 for me. Absolutely loving it every week. Yeah, so Fishstick, like if you've like read like reviews, or not reviews, but interviews with the woman who's doing the score and stuff like that, she basically says that they're going with this like really small scale kind of music feeling, and then it's supposed to get more orchestral and bigger as the show continues. As Kenobi makes his comeback, so does the music. It goes from being very small to being large. And so if at the end it's hitting hard, then I'm all about the score. And what they did was classy even. But if we get to the end and it's kind of like, just sounds like kind of filler music that you would hear on a TV show or some rando movie, and not Star Wars, then I will have a different opinion. Yeah, I will be like, it's not really connecting hard or whatever. So, but Mike loves the show. Don't understand all the hate. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like, once again, I don't want to call anybody inauthentic or call any of that shit out. Like, how can I know what's in somebody's heart? I have no idea. I have no idea what they're all about or whatever. But for the most part, it does feel inauthentic. It does feel performative for the most part. And I think most people who like things don't really go out and express it, but people who hate things do also. So I think it seems a lot worse than it actually is. And obviously it's been review bombed and shit too. So that doesn't help. The Old Republic says ending changed for episode 6. So I guess we don't know what's going to be shown or what's been removed. Like Riva lives, so she can be in season 2. Does Kenobi arc change? And then no, like from what I have heard, the only thing that happened was that moment was cut. The end moment with Riva and Vader was cut. That's the only thing that I know that has been changed. I don't know when it was changed is the other thing too. I just know that I just knew that they filmed that moment. So it may have been gone for a really long time. That's why some people were acting like, "Oh, I'm hearing this about it. I'm hearing that." I'm like, you're making it sound like this just happened. I don't know when it happened. I held that back because I wanted to let those people hang themselves, and they did. Darth Del Rio says, this show has done an amazing job for me bridging the prequel to the OT. This is my favorite Star Wars in the Disney era. I think I probably agree with you. I probably right now, if Kenobi sticks the ending, if the ending is on the positive side of what we've got so far, this will be my favorite thing they have done. This will be for me what I wanted. This is one of the things that I imagined they would do when Disney bought Star Wars, and I was like, what's going to happen? And there was a rumor that Kenobi was on the table and Solo. I was like, I don't, really want that Kenobi story. Brennan says, not to change the subject, but I love Book of Boba Fett. It wasn't the way I wanted them to take the character, but I accept it. I absolutely loved episode 2, and episode 6 was the best live action episode of Star Wars. So once again, I'm glad that you liked it. I liked lots of it. I don't really truly hate anything in particular about it, other than the recipe together didn't make the best cake I think it could have. That's just my take, but it is fun. And once again, I'm super glad that you liked it and that you're having fun. John says, I have been in this fandom since I was 10 years old. Or you need to say it like Cassian. I have been in this fandom since I was 10 years old. Whoa, man. Mark says, to me, if the show entertained me at least a bit, it provided value for my day, therefore it was good. I'm not the type of person to overanalyze canon. If the emotions are real, then it's good. That's not a bad way of looking at it. If you had fun, then there you go. Why is the budget for the show so low? We don't know that the budget for the show is so low. We have no idea what the budget for the show is. So I'm not sure what to make of it. Honestly, I don't know. I have not ever been able to find anything factual about the budget. But it is made in the volume during the pandemic in Southern California. So that probably has plays somewhat into the cheaper look of it. But also these Disney Plus shows I think it looks just like a Disney Plus show. I think it looks to me just like Moon Knight or some shit, It just seems like it's part of the course for Disney Plus television. And that's what we should probably expect. I mean, we could hope for more or even tell them we want more. But if we should not probably expect it to look any better than what it does, because that's what these shows look like. The Marvel shows and the Star Wars shows, they all kind of have that look to them, that volume look in 4K. Ducky says, I find 4 positives and 4 negatives. I get called a shill and a grifter all the time. Shills and grifters make up a small portion of the fan base. but everyone acts like they make up 100%. That's true. I mean, yeah, I mean, most reasoned people just like see that crazy side and just don't want to get involved. There's like, I don't want to fucking deal with those people, and then they just don't. So, I mean, when you get down to it, they're pretty much worse for it all. Then, you know, come join me on Fortnite when you're done. I'd love to if I can. That is my plan for the night. I do have the kids though, and I gave them dinner, and they're being super cool right now. So hopefully they're chill and I can jump on. I need to get that Darth Vader. It's level 100. I'm working my way towards it, but it is not. The old Ducky Momo. Mark says they should have gave the show 30 million per episode instead of 15 per. Like, do we know it was 15 per? Like I said, I still haven't seen anything like concrete on that. But it's just those. I mean, honestly, if they had just trimmed and cut some things that look cheap, if they just cut the moments that looked extra cheap, it probably would play better. But all right, so since your experience with Disney, when one of their shows does really well in terms of numbers, how do they fund the next season of a show? Hundreds of millions or nothing at all? It completely, like when it comes to like that side of stuff, it completely depends on what they're doing, how stretched they are in general, how many movies are they paying for right now? Stuff like that definitely matters. It's my hope without the feature films coming out that Star Wars is going to get the healthiest budget for the live action television shows. That's my hope. But I also think certain things look better using what they have than other things. Like, remember in Book of Boba Fett, it was the same show, but when we got to that whale planet, it looked way better than the rest of the series. And it's like, well, what was different? Well, they weren't emulating a desert. Like, I don't think emulating a desert in the volume is the right way to go. Like, the right way to go would to have been to have taken a crew to Tunisia and film that shit. Like, at the end of the day, that's what they should have done. And but if it came down to doing it or not doing it, I will take this over not having it. So that's kind of where I'm at with it. The Old Republic says George Lucas selling the rights to Disney made all the Star Wars shows possible. So I take Disney's sequels over George's if he had made it. All the Star Wars we have got and are coming. I know what's funny about with George is he would take like 10 years to do one thing, and then it would be like no one, half the people would like it. It would be as controversial as this, but then we had to like live with that because nothing else came. That's the one good thing about this era is like in a few months Cassian Andor starts. So people can move on. They don't just stay there like they did after Revenge of the Sith and just be like, I don't like Star Wars. That's my thing now. It's better. It's definitely better. Boba was a different character from The Mandalorian, laugh out loud. They gave us expectations of him being badass. Rodriguez says in the behind the scenes about Boba being right because he's a legend. They fumbled. Del Rio says, I don't know if shill is the right term, but Lucasfilm does seem to give out a lot of free and advanced stuff to the bootlickers on social media. That's what there are those people who will be like, oh man, you guys just don't get it. Every time Ezra Bridger falls over, it's because it's his character. Yeah. I mean, that shit does exist. But like, and they do give stuff to the bootlickers. They definitely do. But it's like a really small thing, and it's a really small part of the audience, and it's largely irrelevant. And nobody gives a shit what those people have to say because we all know what they're going to say. You don't need to listen to their podcast or watch their YouTube shows or anything because everything's great all the time. And right now I'm saying I like this because I do, but they like everything no matter what, and that's what surprises me is that yet those people don't turn on them because they don't really get that much. But Murphquake says the quality of what can't improve. Much of it is currently state of the art and pushing it forward. The writing and story is about all that they can work on majority. And to be honest, I love what we've gotten. Yeah, me too. I mean, like for instance, the technology to do what they're doing is high, but will it ever be a better choice to film Tatooine in the volume over going to Tunisia? No, it just never will. It just never will be better. So that's the one thing I say that like they could have done or should have done. And with everything in this show being like so kind of quiet and like chill and stuff like that, I could see this work. I could see the show ultimately working better had they done that, had they filmed and had they went to Switzerland or something, or the Alps or whatever to film Tatooine. I'm sorry, Alderaan moments. I think that ultimately would have been better too. That's because when we get to those exteriors, like where she runs out to that forest, it does not look, you do not, I don't feel like she's in the place from the exposition shots. It does feel drastically different, but at the same time doesn't really ruin it for me because it's like a very small thing. It's not the heart of the story to me. Cell Block 113, it says, I posted on the Disney Plus Reddit forum that they should release Obi-Wan in theaters after it finished. I didn't think they actually would. Wonder if they read my IP address to know I'm in British Columbia. Weird. It was all Cell Block. I say we give them a hand. I hope you get to go and you enjoy it, because that's rad. You wanted it, you got it, you willed it. You willed it into existence, Cell Block. Mark says, oh, and thanks, Jason, for responding to all the chats. One of the only Shadowverse channels with real engagement. I try, dude. I try. Thomas Shane says, Cinemax has Kenobi, or I think it's Cineplex, has Kenobi at 5 hours and 20 minutes. Is that just a standard random time, or do you think it's realistic? I think it's the time with time allocated for the Q&A. So if that Q&A is 1 hour, then the show would be 4 hours and 20 minutes. If the Q&A is 4, you see, so without knowing what the Q&A is, it's kind of what the link to the Q&A is going to be. It's almost impossible. So that's probably just a block of time that they carved out for everything, knowing they probably know what the runtime is and what the Q&A is supposed to be. And there's the link to try to figure out how to get tickets for yourself if you're in Canada. And like I said, I hope I mean, I don't think that we're going to change anything here, but my hope is that everyone is like, this is rad, and everyone is like, we want this to happen, and that they do it in the United States. If they were considering it and haven't yet, I hope they do, because I'd go. I want to go. I would love to. Don says, has Boba ever been a primary character, save in the comics? I would prefer him as Din's bro, occasional sidekick. Yeah, I always thought like what they were going to go for was that like Boba is sort of like the crooked uncle who's cool, but he doesn't do the right thing. He's more of a warrior, and like Din is the one who has honor, and Boba is the guy who's always been a bit like, raised in the streets and will fight dirty, that's what I thought they would do, and maybe they still will. Like, how long? That's like the other question, is like that story concluded with Boba now ruling Tatooine. Does he hold it? Does he even want to? Stuff like that. What's going to happen? There's it could be a really cool story if he just decides I don't want this, or if everything falls apart, or like we talked about in the show before, what if Mace Windu comes back and then he lets that kingdom fall on a course for like revenge. While he's going for that, they're taking his shit. Like, there's all kinds of things that make me believe in a season 2 if they wanted to do it. Mark says, well, be fair, each episode is 6 minutes shorter than its runtime. Yeah. I mean, like, yeah, I don't know what to make of it. Maybe too, they are cutting out like all the credits and stuff. Like it might be like, it might just, without openings, bumpers, it might just go boom, 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 boom with just the series. That could be the case. Everyone have a wonderful night. May the force be with you. Bye, Marshall. Jay Antonio. I hope the last 2 episodes are longer. Lots of things yet to be seen. The fight, Leia back on Tatooine. Wait, Leia back on Tatooine? I don't know if Leia goes back to a Tatooine, but I mean Luke and the Lars, Qui-Gon. Yeah, the Qui-Gon stuff is going to be cool. It's kind of funny because like Qui-Gon on one hand is like the biggest thing, like the biggest secret and the biggest spoiler from the whole thing. At the same time, it's the biggest given. Like if any of us sat down and were if they contracted all 92 of us to go write a Star Wars script, we would all have Qui-Gon come in at the end or be a part of it, you know? So it's like it's such a given that they weren't going to do this without Qui-Gon. EJ, how's it going, dude? Thank you for being a channel member, by the way. And thank you to everyone who is a channel member and everyone who likes the video and subscribes to the channel and has the bell clicked. I appreciate it immensely. It means a lot. That the support for the channel means a lot to me. EJ says, I've been losing a bit of the wind in my sails on this show the last 2 episodes. But the dude that wrote E is credited with writing on these last 2 episodes. Hype. That's I don't know what to say about that necessarily, EJ, because like we don't really know we don't know if they wrote on it or if they wrote an iteration of the earlier version of it. That's the whole thing. That's some of the questions that I would love for somebody to ask Joby Harold when he's doing interviews. Like there's a lot of writers here. Is that just all contributions to story and concept from past scripts from the film or the first iteration, or did he just do dialogue punch up, you know? But I will say, if Joby Harold hasn't been your cup of tea this whole time, I'm gonna think the last ones aren't gonna change too much. I think it's gonna be consistent, personally. But I hope you like it. Penny Wan, can you come over here? All right, Penny. So since you are insisting on coming onto the show, because it's what you do, how are you liking the Obi-Wan Kenobi story?
Good.
That's good?
Yeah.
What do you like? Do you know what you like?
Butt cheek.
You like butt cheek. That's not a thing. That's
Yes,
not a thing.
it is.
No, well, butt cheeks are a thing, but that's not a thing in the Kenobi story.
Yes,
I don't
it
think.
is.
Right now, everything's butt cheek this and butt cheek that. But
What are tiny teeth?
you have tiny teeth. Nolan says, is Riva getting a spinoff, or will her story factor into Kenobi season 2? I would have to. I mean, I honestly can't tell you. I can tell you what I think. Yeah, what I think is that this is going to lead into something else, and Kenobi will be involved, and it will be like that world, you know, like kind of like how we have a Mandoverse. I think that we're essentially going to get a bunch of involved stories that interconnect, and Riva will be a part of it. Have you heard anything about Chapek's relationship with Lucasfilm? Is he meddling, etc., letting creatives do their job? Yeah, from the only thing I've ever heard about him, to be honest with you, was mostly Galaxy's Edge butchering. That's the truth. And for the most part, it doesn't seem like there's a big hands-on kind of thing. I've never heard anything that made me think one way or the other. KG's Penny says butt cheek. Back at you. But are you leaving? You already quit the show? All right. I'll be out in just a minute. But yeah, so sorry, I didn't mean to skip so many comments, but the writing credits for the show are real interesting. Yeah, that's the thing, is I don't know how it works. And I would love to ask Joby exactly how it works. Like exactly, you know, why, like are some of the people on there just punching up dialogue? Did they just contribute to past iterations? You know, because when you think about it, like something like Qui-Gon's probably been in every iteration of the whole thing, I would imagine. So did that person contribute that to an earlier script or to the end? You know what I mean? So it's hard to figure out. But yeah. Mark says, I think the score and everything will hit harder in cinemas and people will understand the full version instead of nitpicking. Yeah, that's the thing, is it's like if everything is the sad piano version of what we're going to get later on, when it comes in with like the full orchestra, it may rock. But by the same thing, a fear of mine is that they can't put Duel of the Fates and Battle of the Heroes in this because it's so fucking rocking. If the visuals don't line up, if the visuals cannot support the grandiose, like, oral orgasm in your ears that are those songs, then they can't do it. Like, how pissed will we all be if Duel of the Fates and Battle of the Heroes doesn't come back? I will be really let down if that happens. It would have to be really fucking engaging for me not to go, hey, I didn't notice it wasn't there. So Blake says he wholeheartedly agrees. If Kenobi sticks to landing, this will absolutely be my favorite Disney Star Wars. It's just for me. Yeah, that's what I think too. That's where I'm at. My favorite Star Wars movie is Revenge of the Sith. It just is. I'm not saying it's the best Star Wars movie. I'm not saying it's the best movie of all time. It's just my favorite Star Wars movie. And this one, I feel like it just sits with it so well. It really does. KG says Moon Knight didn't look cheap. See, that's what's funny is Moon Knight looked cheap to me. Moon Knight looked artificial. I'm not saying it didn't have its moments where it looked good, and I enjoyed Moon Knight, but there were a lot of the times it did. I was taken out of scenes like the boat, like when they're on that boat, and once again, it's not like the biggest thing, but it looked really artificial to me. But not trying to ruin it for you, KG. Just saying. Steve says, fuck them. Who cares what they think? Okay, great. Can we all be more nuanced in this conversation? I'm mixed on the show. There is both good and bad, like most things in life. Oh, for sure. We have been. That's what we've been saying. I mean, I'm not pretending like this is my first time talking about it. Like, I've talked about it several times. So I've given here's everything that isn't working. If you watch my review of my impressions of it, I was like, damn, this time, sometimes the show looks cheap. And then you watch the next day, I talked about what I liked about it because I felt like it was not, I wasn't giving it a fair shake. I wasn't really explaining how I felt about it as clearly. But what I am saying is the people that it just want to make sure you have a bad time or tell you should, or that you're not a real fan or any of that, fuck them. And fuck them. Everyone wants to gatekeep, and it's trendy to hate these days. That's true. It is. That's why I let everybody come. Everybody wants to come hang out. I'm cool with it. Just don't ruin somebody else's time. Like, it's, like I always say, it's like in real life. If you go to a party and all you do is talk about bad things and how horrible everything is and how you don't like every song that plays, nobody's going to like you. Nobody's going to want to talk to you. On the internet, unfortunately, it's harder to leave that. Like, those people don't get it. They just stay and keep doing it. And in real life, though, they just won't invite you to parties anymore. It is kind of like one of those things where you want to have a conversation. And then at the end of the day, I want to be able to be I'm going to pick on Arya. Arya likes Michael Bay and I don't. But I'm glad that Arya enjoys something in this life, because there's not a lot of enjoyment in life, not as much as there could be. And so the moments that you do enjoy, I don't take them for granted. So that's why, Arya, I hope you enjoy your Michael Bay movie tonight. Arya says, as much as the films aren't appearing a lot, I 100% prefer getting shows. Give us Ray or Kylo's show. Hell, even Knights of Ren. Yeah, that is the other side of it, though, that we need to remember, is that these, at times when there's not a lot of research and development going into them, aren't as big of an investment for Disney as the films. So it's kind of cool because we get these concepts that we might not have got otherwise, But I do think if Kenobi had been a film, it would have massively delivered for them. I think that might have been a mistake putting that one there in the big picture, but not a mistake for Disney Plus, which is what they are trying to build. They're trying to grow Disney Plus so that it is an indestructible household name and a thing that will always be with us. that is their goal. And so I still see it as an investment in that goal and their larger agenda that will pay off for like probably generations for them in reality. I have heard 25 million per episode in Kenobi series regarding. Yeah, see, I hear numbers, but I never I haven't seen confirmed numbers. You know, most of the time the numbers have been based off of things that they heard for Mando, but Mando had a huge budget, but a lot of it was developing the tech. So once again, I'm not saying that the numbers aren't out there either. I just personally haven't seen it, anywhere. Making sure. Yeah. So wait, is this Chris just sent me a link, and I'm just making sure that there's nothing new here. It's from the direct. I think it's just talking about this right here. Yeah, it's just Cineplex. It's the same thing. So EJ, the last episode was the weakest, but I would 100% loved. Yeah, so the this episode, like it gave us direction. Is what it did though. Because I think that's it. It was weird that we got like just that one that episode 4. I wish we had got these 2 episodes at a time. I think that ultimately, also honestly, dropping the whole thing at once would have been the right way to go, especially since the whole thing takes place within one subscription period. It's not like doing this show weekly elongates subs. It just doesn't. So I wish they had just dropped it all at once. But Knights of Ren could be cool. In episode 9, I didn't really think that they were. I thought they were like, they just were there. John says, with all the spoilers I saw, they only made me more excited to see how they were going to implement that story. I can still see criticism with the show, but I don't allow it to stop me. Yeah, that's how I am too. In fact, like when you start going, you're going like, oh, Clone Wars flashbacks. They're gonna show little Anakin on Ilum getting his kyber crystal with Obi-Wan. It's like, I'd love to see that. Don't get me wrong, but that's not going to happen. Don't expect it. Oh, I want to see Rex, and like, remember with Book of Boba, Cody's coming this episode, and he's gonna bring Kira from Solo, a Star Wars story, and it's just like, no, nothing that interesting is going to happen. The Old Republic says, I have heard 25, and that was during COVID. Budget is huge in regard to of a show this small regarding episodes. Yeah, that's the other side of all of this. Like I said, is that they filmed the duel from the last episode for like a month. Like they filmed that longer than an episode, than most episodes. So I'm expecting a lot of it to go to that. I hope that's where it is. I think that's where it is. And that's where I hope that it is. Yeah, like I have criticisms for Kenobi, says Blake, but those things just don't matter to me. Like the story's just working for me so well that the smaller things aren't a big deal. And that's what they were thinking, I think. Like I don't for a second think Deborah Chow saw like Leia being captured and what they got and was like, I did it. Fucking nailed it. I think it was like, does it work? Like, did we get it? We got it. Is it good enough? I guess it is. And most likely that shit was probably filmed either early on or when they were exhausted from the shoot. Runtime for the first 4 episodes is under 3 hours, and you save about 20 minutes without the recap and repeated credits. Okay, thank you, Murph. Murph is the official Making Star Wars show mathematician. Murphquake. I'd watch it if they released it in the States, says KG. Me too. I would totally go. Arya says, just imagine the day we get a show that's episode 9 quality. That's what we are living. That's when we are living like royalties. Yeah, I agree. And I don't know, maybe if these shows come out for these limited theatrical runs and they actually like bring in some cash, maybe it will mitigate some of the cost and they'll be more willing to throw in on a couple of things that would be good for the theatrical release. Also, if it comes out in the theater, makes Liam Neeson not a liar. Remember when he said he wasn't in it because he will only do things from the theater? Real Ben Maynard says, Jason, you get these grifters mad. Fifth brother voice. Oh, yeah. Jason. Yeah, he's that guy. Vidor says, I like some practical implications in verse of Star Wars. Therefore, I don't mind Ben Solo's death, since if he lived, he would have forever being chasing the galaxy and looking like a coward by reassuring him, but creating some hard consequence. Yeah, that was the thing with Ben Solo, is when he was used to blow up trillions of people and killed his father, like there's no sorry, the atonement. Really, the only way to believe in the sincerity for atonement is the self-sacrifice. But like I say, it's also why I'm okay with them bringing him back. If he did that, was willing to die, and then he comes back, and I'm for it. But I hope they do it. Penny alert. I know Penny's, if I don't get out of here pretty soon, Penny's going to come in here and alert by pulling the plug on the show. Ben Bamboo, how's it going? I greatly dislike the Riva character, which makes it hard to like the show since they're pushing her character so hard, even over Anakin and Obi-Wan, who is the series is actually supposed to be about. I disagree that they're pushing anything harder than anything else. But I will say, I'd suggest you watch the next episode. And if you don't like her, I know it's the fifth one, but the fifth one is supposed to be the big one for her. And if you don't like it, then there you go, But were you calling me a pixie Don? No, I know. Talking about Penny. But also, good band, one of my favorite bands. EJ says the writing credits for the show are real interesting. Yeah, they are. Imagine if the old script leaked and it's somehow better. Now that's an episode 9 moment, says Haria. You mean the script for Kenobi, a Star Wars story? Yeah, back in like 2019 or something like that. I heard what was in the rough first draft or whatever of that. It did not sound very good to me. And but I didn't read it or anything like that. I don't know anybody who has, so I can't, or read them all or whatever. So I can't say. Darth Del Rio, do you think we'll ever see a Rinsler type behind the scenes book about Star Wars again? I don't. Nah, not from Disney. Could there be an unofficial one? Yeah. I mean, I could probably kind of do one about some of the shit to a pretty well researched extent even. But Ben Bembus says, not sure if it's bad casting, bad writing, or bad performance, but I find the entirety of her character and actress who plays her completely unconvincing. Yeah, well, yeah, if that's the case for you, I don't know if it can work for you. Crystal says, why is Snoke put into the movies, but he was not supposed to be there when Kylo Ren showed up? Why was he there? Why was he put in? He's at the end of the day, he was supposed to be the thing that helped turn Kylo to the dark side. And then at the end of the day, he was an avatar for Palpatine. I do think that Snoke is conscious, though. But like KG said, sometimes you just got to see butt cheek. Chris Owen says, how set in stone is it that Ewan will reprise the role again after the season of the show? I can't tell you, like, I know that there's like a deal for sequels or something like that. I actually don't know if there is, but it's Star Wars, not butt cheek, but it's Star Wars. He's a producer on it. He has big input on what happens and what doesn't. And I think he would do it again. And you could just tell by the press tour, by trying to get people at Celebration to want there to be more, that he wants to like do more. So, and he wanted to do this from the very start. So I would imagine it's pretty high, and it's very, very likely. And I wouldn't be surprised if when they signed the original deal, if it was with sequels in mind, if they wanted to, or for multiple appearances. I think they probably get paid more money if it's for multiple appearances. The Old Republic says, call Kathleen Kennedy. She knows if season 2 will happen. I'll be honest with you. I don't know if anybody really knows. I know that they intend to, that they want to, that it's the agenda to make a season 2 to continue the story anyway. But at the end of the day, the stars have to align, and until something's filming, it ain't happening. That's what I say. And until it is filming, that's when you know it will come out, probably. But somehow I got a bunch of the same chat again. But John says, my favorite is a 3-way tie: A New Hope, Revenge of the Sith, and Rogue One. Yeah, I think I'm a Return of the Jedi, Revenge of the Sith, and The Last Jedi. I think those are like kind of like my go-to ones right now. Anyway, Empire, baby. Yeah, Empire is really good. Obviously, I mean, Empire is I think is the best film that they made. Probably the best film they will ever make, to be honest with you. But I also think that depends on, Empire is more effective at different points. Like when I was a kid, was my least favorite Star Wars movie. I loved it. I watched it all the time, but it had the most boring stuff to me as a kid. The mushy stuff and the like Luke training stuff, but I liked Yoda as a puppet, so I was into it still. Luke Miller says listed at 5 hours and 20 minutes or 3 hours and 20 minutes. First 4 episodes of Kenobi, total 185 minutes. That means there's 135 minutes or 2 hours and 15 minutes for final 2 episodes put together. And what about the Q&A? See, that's the thing, the Q&A, right? Top Gun was amazing. Have you seen it? I did. Me and Rob did a little mini episode on it, or at the end of an episode, we talked about it for about 30 minutes one night. Yeah, I loved it. It was really fun. It was really, really smart. Stupid. It was a really smart, you planned out stupid story. But I loved it, if that makes sense. And I don't know. Is it okay to talk about Top Gun spoilers at this point? I'm gonna talk about Top Gun spoiler really quickly. I'm just gonna say how the ending could have been better, Luke. Here's how the ending's better. You don't have Rooster play Great Balls of Fire. He never touches the fucking piano the whole time. Doesn't do it. He's just in the bar drinking, pounding, looking like Goose, mad at Maverick, right? But then at the very end, all that shit goes down. Then you put Rooster, Maverick, his girlfriend, and her kid at the bar playing the song. And you're like, oh, he's got Goose back. They atoned, and now Goose is back. You see what I'm saying? Like, Goose isn't back, but he is, kind of thing. That's what I would have done instead of that really sappy ending with the sailboat and all that bullshit. I would have done that. I think that's a better ending. So I'm ready to go do the director's cut with them if they're ready. Jake says, I'm concerned with how much is left to tell in the last 2 episodes, especially with the episode lengths. I don't know, man. Like, at the end of the day, like in this next episode, yeah, there's enough time. I promise. I know a little bit about what goes into the final episodes, especially on the back end of it, and where I think we're fine. I don't think we're gonna feel like they left anything out or they rushed anything. I really don't. I mean, we'll have to see though. Maybe your sense of this is better than mine, but right now that's where I'm at. I think I finally checked out the show when I saw Kenobi sneaking Leia out under his jacket. One too many dumb Scooby-Doo level antics has been plaguing the show throughout. I don't know. I mean, yeah, if that doesn't work for you, it was supposed to be funny. I thought it mostly was. They got caught still, but what else, and everyone's like, they could have done this. Yeah, they could have went to the store and got her like a little box and put her in it. But if there wasn't one there, I think they were just trying to get to the ship and fight their way out. But I really wish Disney had dropped all of Kenobi at once. Waiting each week has been tough, says EJ. I'm with you, EJ. I think that was a huge mistake on their part. I think this is the one that they should have dropped it all at once. Big time. Yeah, this is just, like I said, it doesn't grow over into different subscription periods or anything. So, and the cloak bit with Leia cracked me up. See, EJ thought it was kind of funny. I thought it was funny. I thought that was amusing too. It didn't ruin anything for me. Ducky says 4 episodes in, and Riva has been my least favorite type of villain. Super mad for the sake of being mad. Has always been boring to me. She needs more layers next 2 episodes to get me on board. You may be happy with the next 2 episodes. Blake says, so if you obviously don't have to tell specifically, but are there things, spoilers about Kenobi, that you haven't been able to tell? Yeah, there's little things I haven't been able to like say. Just because, you know, if somebody tells me something, it doesn't mean I get to report it. So if they told me I can't report it, then I don't. Thomas Shane says, my thing with hiding Leia under the coat, realistically, what else could they really have done though? They really weren't in a good situation. Yeah, I know that was my take too. I personally would have had her put her arms around me. Like if it was Penny, I'd had Penny put her arms around me, and then I would have put the jacket on and made it look like I had like kind of a hunchback. That would be the only other thing I could see doing, but probably might have been more suspicious, but you know, hard to say. But yeah. Making sure when Ewan announced back then he would play Obi-Wan again in front of KK, she looked at him as if she was in love with Ewan. That confirms another season, folks. Okay, I'll take that as yeah. Okay. Know if Palps will be showing up at any of the next few shows besides Bad Batch? I don't. I can only tell you, unfortunately, that he should not be showing up in this one. I do not believe he is showing up in here, you know. Sorry guys, but they could have written they found a crate container to highlight. Well, yeah, exactly. But that's the thing, is that this was supposed to be kind of funny. So like if like you didn't find it funny, then it is what it is. It didn't work for you. But that was the whole joke, is that they're hiding the kid in the trench coat. You know, it's an old-timey gag, you know, and I don't know. I guess you either like it or you don't. I'm not gonna die on a hill to defend it. Like, oh my god, guys, I was laughing so hard because it wasn't like that. It was just like, oh man, they're fucked. Like that's how I felt when I saw it, you know. But you know, Vidor says unshaven Andor and scarf without the alarm sounding is always going to bother me more than anything, and I don't know why. Yeah, that's the thing. It's like they're like sneaking around and getting caught. I mean, constantly they're getting caught. It does not go to plan. They have a very weak plan. They have a crazy plan to like begin with, you know. But what's funny is that's not even what got them caught. They got caught because Riva knew that Tala had killed her guard and had run away. So that was actually what got them caught. But Shogun says, yeah, I could see it being a gag. And Ducky says, funny works better if you're already in a good place with the episode. If you're not, then funny is a kick in the nuts. That's fair. That is, and you're right. Flashback for Riva in episode 5, or is that episode 6 in front of Luke? I don't know what the edit will be. Honestly, can't tell you. Your guess is as good as mine, Arya. And then adults half running after a child who can barely run. Yeah, I mean, we already said that. And I agree with you there. That shit did not cut it. But I'm going to go now because I didn't even expect to do a show tonight, and I've gone almost 2 hours again. And I'm going to go and going to watch some TV with Penny for a bit and get her ready for bed, and then enjoy the rest of my night. So everyone, have a good night, and I will see you guys tomorrow at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time for the usual show, and enjoy the rest of your weekend. And if you're enjoying Kenobi, go enjoy it, and I hope you enjoy something if you're not. Bye.
The end of the show.
Come on, let's go. Hey!
It's the end of the show.
Come on, let's go. Hey!
It's the end of the show.
Come on, let's go. Hey!
You know you should go.
Come on, let's go. It's not about spaceships.